Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News at 6 tonight. I'm Mark Hanrahan.
And I'm Whitney Ward. Thank you for being here. Our air quality now officially sitting in the unhealthy range. Take a look, though, at these pictures taken by one of our viewers, Ron, here in Spokane. Obviously, the photo on the left, that was back in July. The other was just taken today. And on top of that, we're also now facing an excessive heat warning across the inland Northwest.
Tough combination tonight. Chief Meteorologist Tom Sherry tracking our AQI and the heat. He's also cooking up meatball subs tonight for his barbecue forecast. Tom, we know it's going to be hot over the next couple of days, so what's the best day to get out and grill?
Well, I'll be telling you that coming up in just a little bit. And you're right, I'm doing meatball sandwiches. Who does meatballs on the grill? This guy does. And so we'll get the meatballs, we'll grill them all up, then I'll put them in this marinara sauce right now, which is kind of bubbling up. We'll let it saturate and marinate and just get all good. Then we'll put it in one of those delicious Franz Stadium sandwiches. Let's go over here because I do have some better news. I mean, it's still bad. The air quality is still not what we want to see right now, but we've dropped. During the 5 o'clock broadcast, we were at 206, which had us in the very unhealthy range. Now we're down to 198. Which has dropped us down to the unhealthy range. And I do think we're going to see improving conditions as we get into tomorrow and especially by the weekend. You can see the smoke that is coming off of these fires in the Cascades, and all of that is blowing towards the east. Let's talk about this. We've got that heat advisory in effect through Saturday evening as temperatures in many areas are going to get over 100 degrees. I think we'll do that again here in Spokane. If we do get over 100 degrees, that'll break a brand new record of the most days that we've seen temperatures over 100 degrees. We're at 95 right now. You can see the wind is out of the north at 9 miles per hour. We take a look at your day planner forecast. We're calling for mostly clear except for the smoke at the surface and a low of 63. Smoky, very hot on Friday. Should get up to 99. And then on Saturday, I think we may get up to 101 and then 94 on Sunday. Stick around though, because I've got cooler, more comfortable summer temperatures in store for you next week with a look at my 10-day forecast. But right now, everybody is just concerned about our very poor air quality. With more information on that, we go inside the building where meteorologist Thomas Patrick is standing by.
Yeah, and Tom's going to take a break inside as well as those meatballs are cooking. As for that air quality, you saw that some of that wildfire smoke is just basically pouring into the Columbia Basin. I got the high definition weather satellite imagery from just about an hour or two ago. You can really pick out some of the large fires across the state, including the Schreider Springs fire. That one I actually saw on my drive back across the state yesterday. It is probably the most aggressive of all the fires across Washington, but all this combined is just creating that thick layer of smoke all across central and eastern Washington. You can even see in British Columbia, it's pretty much just filling up all the valleys. So that smoke certainly is settling on the surface of the earth, but the upper air winds are generally out of the north. So I think areas of central and even western Washington get the worst of it for tomorrow. So we might see a bit of an improvement in terms of air quality in the Spokane and North Idaho regions, but that unhealthy air quality is expected to stay across central Washington tomorrow. And we now have air quality alerts that have been expanded all the way until Monday morning. So we're expecting about a 4-day event for us while we're still under this hot and hazy air mass.
All right, Thomas, thank you very much. Well, this week, a lot of people have reached out to us here at KREM saying they're having a lot of trouble finding a COVID-19 test required for things like travel or camp. All of this coming as our local health leaders say there's actually no shortage of testing supplies. So our own Ian Smay is joining us now live to talk more about the struggle to find a test and especially how it's affecting one local family. Ian?
Yeah, good evening, Whitney. As you were saying, local health leaders have told us that there's no shortage in COVID-19 tests here in the Spokane area. But multiple people have said finding an appointment for testing hasn't been easy, which could hamper people's plans to travel, or in this case, attend a summer camp. Summer camps, something enjoyed by many kids in the inland Northwest, haven't been immune to changes caused by COVID-19. But for one local family with a daughter just days away from starting camp, they were in for a surprise.
So we didn't know up until last week that we had to even do any sort of COVID test. We knew that she was going to have to wear masks while she was there, so that was a bit of a surprise.
Well, that normally wouldn't seem like an issue. Rydell has struggled to find a place with testing availability in the coming days.
Now, just scrambling to try and find a place for her to get a rapid test within 72 hours of her going.
Rydell's daughter's camp starts Saturday. She's hoping to get her daughter a rapid test, but if they don't get results fast enough, her daughter could miss out on some of the fun of summer camp.
Yeah, there's definitely a worry if I can't get her in to be tested soon enough, and then it comes time for her to go to summer camp. I'm not really sure if maybe we can bring her a few days late. I don't know.
Rydell isn't the only one struggling to find a test. Others have reached out to KREM this week to talk about their own struggles. This comes as Spokane sees a spike in cases as the Delta variant surges. Spokane's interim health director, Dr. Francisco Velasquez, says there isn't a shortage of testing supplies, and local healthcare providers say testing is still being done. But finding available tests, especially with an increase in travelers due to restrictions being loosened, can be a challenge. Appointments can fill up quick, and wait times for walk-ins at local urgent cares have been as high as 4 hours at some locations. Rydell's advice? Ask those around you for help.
I think just asking your community will help. You know, going online, you might not get all of the answers as quickly or as clearly as just asking your neighbors, your community members who possibly have already been through the situation.
One important thing to look out for is to ensure that once you find a test that it's the right one. For example, to get into Canada as a fully vaccinated traveler, you can't submit a rapid antigen test, but tests such as PCR or Rapid ID now are accepted. If you want more information on COVID-19 testing here in Spokane, visit our website, krem.com. In the newsroom, Ian Smay, KREM 2 News.
Ian, thank you very much. The Washington State Superintendent wants a vaccine mandate for public school employees. Superintendent Chris Reichdahl publicly asked Governor Jay Inslee to mandate COVID-19 vaccinations for public school employees.
Governor Inslee passed down a mandatory vaccination requirement already for state and healthcare employees. That was back on August 9th, but K through 12 employees were not included. So Reichdahl is now citing the rise in COVID cases across the state, especially due to the Delta variant, saying he's worried that students could miss out on more in-person learning this year. We haven't yet heard a response from the governor.
Meantime, hospitals all across the nation struggling to keep up as yet another wave of COVID cases spreads across the nation. Public health officials pleading with people to get vaccinated as the Delta variant quickly spreads. Here are the top COVID headlines that we are tracking today. WSU will remove most of their vaccine exemptions once full FDA approval is reached. Students will no longer be allowed to be unvaccinated for personal or philosophical reasons. Once the exemptions are removed, students will have 45 days to start the vaccine process.
Also tonight, Spokane's health officer, along with several leaders from 34 other jurisdictions in Washington, are now urging people to wear masks indoors regardless of their vaccination status. In a statement, those 35 health officers say people need to be wearing masks in public indoor settings, quote, wherever the vaccination status of those around you is unknown.
How much do we need to do in terms of precautions? And what I mean by that is each one of us individually can make a contribution to prevent the spread of this virus by wearing your masks indoors, regardless of your immunization status, if you don't know who's around you, and to protect those around you.
Today's statement was in response, of course, to the increasing coronavirus case rates as well as hospitalizations and the presence of that highly contagious Delta variant.
Multicare announced they are tightening visitor restrictions due to the increase in COVID cases at Multicare, Deaconess, and Valley hospitals. Only one visitor will be allowed for hospitalized patients. Moms in labor will be allowed to have 2 visitors during the birthing process. All visitor restrictions for Multicare go into effect immediately. Providence and Kootenai Health have also announced similar restrictions earlier this week.
Well, another big story that we're covering today, Idaho Governor Brad Little strongly encouraging everyone to get that COVID-19 vaccine, especially to help our children. Idaho schools are getting ready to get back into session, especially though those COVID case counts continue to skyrocket.
KREM 2's Morgan Trout live in the newsroom tonight to break down these latest numbers. Morgan?
Mark, Whitney, Governor Little has been basically begging Idahoans to get the COVID vaccine for months now. In a passionate press conference today, he gave the stratospheric but not shocking statistics.
Idaho is predicting COVID cases to exceed last year's peak for daily case counts in October. North Idaho is already seeing this problem. But with the school year coming back, Governor Little says enough is enough.
We can give our kids the best chance at a normal school year if Idahoans choose to receive the vaccine.
But I am concerned about us getting back to school and how that spread might continue, which potentially could lead to hospitalizations of our younger population. And we're already seeing that now.
Let's go through some of these Idaho statistics. Little says nearly every single new COVID case, hospitalization, and death since the start of the year were not from people vaccinated. And 98.9% of new COVID cases were people not vaccinated as well. 98.6% of hospitalizations and 98.7% of deaths were from people not vaccinated. And since May 15th in Idaho, there have been 10 times the cases of unvaccinated people getting COVID, 13 times the hospitalizations, and 8 times the deaths versus people who are vaccinated. The Panhandle Health District interim director says there are currently 31 patients in critical care at Kootenai Health. He hopes Governor Little's pleas will push more people to get vaccinated, since the 5 northern counties the health district serves is only 38% fully vaccinated. In the newsroom, Morgan Trow, KREM 2 News.
Morgan, thank you very much. And we want to make sure you're getting more to every story, so we've made finding the information easy for you. If you'd like to read more about the latest COVID-19 surge in the inland Northwest, including about recommendations from health officers and testing, just text the word COVID to 509-448-2000, and we'll send all that information straight to your phone.
Well, the 2020 census data has been released, and we are already seeing headlines about that data. Our team's been digging through all the numbers earlier today, so we're going to dig into the striking numbers we're seeing across Spokane and Coeur d'Alene when we come right back.